Hey my book lovelies, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd go through some of the 5-star reads that I've read this year. Bearing in mind I've read 90 books, there may be a few on the list, but I'm going to tell you some of my favourites that you need to add straight to your TBR. Let's dive in. The first fiction 5-star read that I had in 2026 was Fallen Gods by Rachel Van Dyking. I do have to say that this is the first book in a series. I am patiently waiting for the rest to come out. I don't know if it's a duology or a trilogy, but this was so good. If you like anything inspired by mythology, so this was Norse mythology inspired. Now, do I know much about Thor? No. Does the book lead you in the right direction? Completely. So I kind of feel like you're getting educated whilst reading an amazing story. So this girl's father has trapped all the gods and made them forget that they are gods. Like, they just think they're normal human beings who maybe a little bit built a bit bigger or built a bit differently, you name it. And she gets herself in a situation where she has to go to this university, try and seduce somebody who she's previously been engaged to, and find this item. Which you think sounds really easy, but he's actually a sleeping giant. He's grumpy. She's not even sunshine. I would say it is a grumpy romantasy. It had pace, it had spice, it had drama, it had tension, it had plot twists, it had everything you could possibly want in a book, and I read this so quickly. It's not the biggest fantasy ever, but it's quite a chunky one, and honestly I could not put it down. It was so good. So if you do like romantasies with lots of tension, lots of plot twists, lots of I didn't see that coming, then I would definitely recommend getting this one top of your TBR. Easy 5-star read, and it was actually the first 5-star read of 2026 for me that was fiction. My first non-fiction was a Gavin and Stacey one, but this was the first fiction 5-star read, and yeah, very excited to continue my journey with this series, and I do need to read more from this author. Another 5-star read for me was actually the third book in the Skyidge Hot Shot series by Danielle Baker, this one. So each book's written by a different author, and Honor was so good. I cannot even begin to explain how obsessed I was with it. So this follows a guy whose best friend moves his widowed pregnant sister in next door to him, and he's always had a thing for her. He's always felt very protective of her. And the way that they develop the relationship throughout the book, I love a single mum trope. Like, he doesn't have to turn up for those children, yet he is, and it is just so good. It's one of those ones that you just, it just warms your heart. So he lives next door, he knows she's struggling, he knows she's going through a lot of trauma, he's not going to push that boundary down with her, he's just going to be an amazing support system for her, and if it ever develops into something more, great, and at the same time if it doesn't, he's happy sitting in that position. Yes, it did get spicy, but I think this slow burn on this was needed, because if they just jumped straight into spicy situations, it wouldn't add to the trauma that she's feeling. You wouldn't get to see the fact that she's widowed, she's had a child. He saw her have the child, actually. He was there when her water broke, and yeah, it was just amazing. I did like the other two in the series, but they were both 4-star reads for me. This was where I felt like just everything I want in a romance was really built and developed. I actually hadn't read anything by Danielle Baker before, and it's made me want to add her straight onto my TBR as well. So she's definitely an author. As books come out this year, I'll be looking to see if she's written any. But yeah, really enjoyed this one. You can read them as standalone, so if you think, actually, I just want to read the one that Mills has read as a 5-star read, you can definitely pick this one up today. I'm actually surprised I'm even talking about this book, never mind saying it was a 5-star read for me, because last year, I paused this book. Technically, I DNF'd it. I didn't think I was going to go back to it. So I've learnt last year that I have a trigger which is non-con. I read a book called Red Rabbit by Devon Rivers. It triggered me a lot, and at that point I dived straight into this, and there are some scenes of non-con implied in it. They're not explored fully. I just wasn't ready to read and accept those scenes. So I paused it. I didn't even think, honestly, I thought it was going to be my first ever DNF. Like, I rarely DNF a book. And I thought, I'm going to have to walk away from this one to protect myself more than anything. This year I was like, right, the second book's coming out. You love Rena Kent. She doesn't normally trigger you. Give her another go. I'm so glad I did. Like, yes, it's non-dub con. Yes, it is intense. But my goodness, this story is so good. The first book was a 5-star. The second book for me was a 4-star just because it felt a little bit repetitive. It felt like it was reliving the same story again. But this girl's foster sister has been put in a coma. She believes by a secret society. She is trying to find the ice hockey men who are part of the secret society and work out what actually happened to her sister. And when she meets him, he's an intense man. He's very intense. The way the story develops is so good. I actually think I'm super excited for book 3 the most, which is a male-male romance, because there is something very important that happens in the story that's explored a little bit more in book 2, but it is based around book 3, and I'm like, how did this go from this to this to this? Like, I cannot work out how the chain of events happened. So I have a feeling book 3 could also be at least a 4.5 star, if not a 5-star read. We'll see how good the plot twist explained is. But yeah, definitely would recommend reading this one. I would say if you've ever like DNF'd a book or paused, sometimes it is good to go back to if you're in a different mindset, if you're in a different place, and just see if it is the right time for you to read it, because otherwise I wouldn't have read this and I wouldn't have rated it 5 stars, and I would never have picked up the rest of the series. And actually this trilogy so far is very good. Very, very good. So yeah, really glad I gave this another go, but I didn't think I was going to. This is To Cage a Wild Bird by Brookfast. It is dystopian heaven. I was brought up in the world of dystopian. I was brought up on Hunger Games, Divergent, Maze Runner, so whenever I pick up a dystopian book, I just feel at home. I feel comfortable here. This girl lives in a world that if you make a mistake or you do something wrong, you go to prison. And when you're in this prison, rich people can pay to chase you and kill you. Simply put, her job, she's kind of like a bounty hunter. She goes around finding the people who they're after, getting them sent to prison, and people despise her until one day her brother's taken. And she's like, I can't let him be taken. I've got to go into this prison. I've got to save him. I've got to get him out. It literally says, get in, get out, don't fall in love. She might have a little bit of trouble with that. There is a prison guard that she might have had a bit of a rendezvous with, and he might be a little bit interested in her. So whilst you have this dystopian story building, you get to experience what it would feel like if you were running away when you're being chased. You also have a romantic interest, which makes it so fun to read. I also have a very pretty edition of this. I'm not sure if these ones are still available, but you have this reversible dust jacket, which is absolutely stunning. I'm pretty sure this is Brookfast's debut novel as well, and beautiful end papers as well as a sprayed edge. So yeah, I cannot wait for the second one to come out on this. In the UK, we were quite lucky. We got this a little bit earlier than they did in America. So I was very lucky to read this in January before anybody else even knew it existed. And yeah, was obsessed. Need book 2 ASAP, please. But yeah, so good. If you like dystopian, I don't need to say anything else. It's a 5-star read. Then, of course, we have All Too Well by Corinne Michaels. This is the first in her series, the Ember Falls series. I love a small town romance. Can't go wrong with a small town romance for me. Throw some sports romance in, throw some cowboys in, throw some trauma in. Anything just set in a small town romance setting. And I'm a happy Mills. I'm a happy, very happy person. So, she has kissed her brother's best friend. She's ran away for a few years. He's had a child. He's a single dad. She's now back, and they may be able to rekindle the yearning that you feel in this book. I can't even begin to explain it. It was so good. I love a yearn. I love a slow burn. I love a second chance romance where you see where it's fallen down in the past. With this one, it was just they were both too scared to cross the line. It's not necessarily that there's lack of communication or anything like that. It just was so easy to read. It was so fun to read. When it got spicy, the spicy was great. He has a daughter. She is an absolute cutie. Like, I loved her. I do think I like a single dad when he's still trying to like find some love interest, and the daughter is present in the book but not overly present. But yeah, I didn't think I was going to love this as much as I did. Supposedly there's references to Taylor Swift in the book. I did get that the team that they play sports on is something to do with Taylor Swift. I think they're called the Swifties or something. I don't know much about Taylor Swift, so I will not get much of the references. But yeah, this one was an easy 5-star read, and I also just love the sprayed edge and the colour of it. It's so pretty. Very good to read in spring as well. Pretty sure I would have put this on my spring TBR for you guys. But yeah, very easy to read, very fun to read. Would definitely recommend picking this one up. Am I allowed to count a reread as a 5-star read again? I think I am. So I read Rook and Rebel when it was indie published last year, and this year it was trad published. So look, I have to do a check. I have to check that it's the same. I have to check that the vibes are the same. I have to check they haven't changed any context. And they haven't, which is great. This follows Regan and Rook. So she's kind of lived this sheltered life. She's always wanted to take over her dad's business. She doesn't really know what her dad's business is. And that becomes clear as you read the story. And he's always sheltered and locked her away. And then one day, this guy on a motorcycle turns up, and she doesn't really question why he's turned up. She doesn't really question why he keeps appearing in her life. She doesn't really question why he's there, which becomes evident as you read the story. He's very protective over her, but also very aloof. Like, he will be like, oh, I will protect you, and then I will not speak to you for a whole week. And I kind of love that juxtaposition of, he just doesn't know what he wants. He kind of wants her, but he's got a mission to do, and he's like, oh, should I get involved with her? Should I not? It just is hard to follow his point of view, because you know there's some deceit there. The spice is good, the motorcycles are good, the plot twists are good, the drama's good, the tension's good. It's just got a little bit of everything I could need. And obviously the trad version has some artwork. They do have little text messages in, which you know I'm obsessed with. And obviously this series will be continuing. We've got book 2 and 3 now officially announced. I think it's called the Maverick series, in the Maverick series. And this one did come with a bonus chapter, which was really fun to read. So yeah, if you definitely want like something that's a bit dark, but not too dark, make sure you get this on your TBR. It's like definitely dark romance, but borderline not as dark as some of the other ones that you may have read. Then we have Beautiful Fiend by Lola King. I put off reading this for a while. So of course I've discussed the fact that I'm not the biggest non-con fan, and one of my friends read this and said, oh, it's a little bit heavier on the non-con side, maybe it's not one for you. But after I survived a non-con book, I was like, do you know what, I'm gonna give it a go. And my goodness, this gave me all the vibes I want. So this is very dark. It's gangs. It's about a girl who is in one gang and a guy who's in the other. And she has always wanted to leave their small town. She wants to escape the gangs. She wants to escape her life and run away. He films her doing something not great, should we say, and uses it as blackmail to kind of keep her in this small town. He's also got this whole trauma story behind him that starts to develop, and you kind of start to feel a bit of empathy for him. You kind of start to realize why he is the way he is, and honestly, it's just so good. I devoured this. I couldn't put it down. It gave me very similar vibes to Insatiable by Lee Rivers, just because of his trauma, just because of the way he's trying to hold on to the girl. I just felt like I have read something similar, but this took it down a very different path. It didn't feel repetitive, and that's what I love. If I'm going to read something where it gives me a similar vibe, I don't want the repetitiveness of it. And yeah, Beautiful Fiend by Lola King. It's the first in the North Shore series. I have yet to read the rest of the North Shore series, but I do own them. So I definitely will be diving into seeing how deranged some of his friends are, because I imagine they're going to be following them. And there is one, I wouldn't even call him a friend, but one character you've met in particular that I think could be more deranged than the rest of them. So yeah, definitely recommend picking this one up and adding it to your TBR, but it is on the darker side of like gang, mafia, dark romance. Then we have Across the Vanishing Sky by Catherine Cowles. Would it be a Mills video if I didn't have a Catherine Cowles book in it? No. If she writes it, we know I'm going to read it, and we know the likelihood is it's probably going to be a 5-star read. I am obsessed with this book. It broke me. There's a video of me reading it, there's a vlog of me reading it, and you can just see how much this book destroys me. The reason I love it is I love a romantic suspense with drama and tension and plot twists, and it just will make me cry. This girl is a single mum. Her best friend has always been there for her, always helped her, always supported her. And they're on this walk, and her best friend, she turns around, best friend's gone. Where would she have gone? There's no evidence she's been taken, she didn't hear her scream, there's just nothing. The police are like, she's probably fallen in a river and died. A bear's probably eaten her and she's died. She's not ever going to be found. And her, gut reaction is, no, that's not right. Something doesn't sit right with me. I'm going to move me and my son to this small town. I'm going to keep hounding the police. I'm going to find out what happened to my best friend. And the way that she develops throughout the story, her character, her romantic interest with this FBI hacker who lives next door, oh, it's just so good. And I cannot wait to continue with this series because we're going to be following all the brothers. And there is just something so fun about that. There's a few in particular that when you're reading them, you're like, oh, he's a little bit grumpy or he's a little bit this. Let's see where his story goes. But yeah, easy 5-star read. I read it in a day. Absolutely destroyed me. Don't know if it fully built me back together, but it was so good. Considering this is a new author to me, I'm really glad that she's a 5-star read because I'm about to dive into another series from her. So this is Half City by Kate Golden, and this is demon hunting. Now, I was brought up on Shadowhunters. I'm obsessed with Shadowhunters, so anything with demons in this kind of setting where it's a real world setting, a little bit dystopian vibe in your fantasy, I love. So you meet this girl, I think she's called, why have I forgotten her name? I want to say she's called Viv. Yes, she is. I was going to say Violet, but I was like, that's not right. So Viv has been brought up by her father. She is a little bit different to other demon hunters. She came into her powers super young. The rest come into theirs when they reach a certain age. And she thought she was the only demon hunter in the world. Her father has been brutally killed, literally in front of her. And this demon turns up to try and get her to enroll in the academy. And she's like, I don't think I want to enroll in Harker Academy. I don't think I want to go there. But she goes there and she realises she is not alone, which is really sad. You do feel for her when you're reading it because all her life she thought she was saving the world. She thought she had to save the world. And she didn't realise how many people out there are doing what she's doing and doing it just as well as her, I guess. There's a little bit of a romantic interest with a demon as well, and I love it. But yeah, it's the first book in the Harker Academy. We know we're getting book 2 this year. I'm pretty sure this is just a duology. But Kate Golden knows how to write a cliffhanger. I'm quite glad that I'm about to dive into a trilogy from her called The Sacred Stones, but that it is a completed trilogy, because I don't know if I can face another cliffhanger. Like this one, my brain has exploded with this one. But yeah, very good. If you like anything fantasy that's really easy to enter, like the vampires are demons, werewolves are demons, like there's lots of different characters, but really easy to follow, definitely recommend grabbing this one. Again, another 5-star read for me, and it is a reread. I have to do a sense check. I have to make sure that the content, they haven't changed. I just have to. This is Insatiable by Lee Rivers. It's the first in the Edge of Darkness. Now, I am going to say this. I think this is my favourite dark romance series out there to date. The way that the trauma is involved in this is just so good. I've never felt anything like this before. I cry every time I think about these characters. They do live in my brain. Like Stacey and Cade fully live up there. We're getting a spin-off world this year, which is so exciting. So she's mixing the Edge of Darkness series with her Web of Silence series. I cannot wait. But yeah, this is about a guy who's dated his sister's best friend. They've had some trouble, they've had some trauma, they've broken up, he's gone off the rails, he's back, and he is literally lighting a flame on her life. But she has secrets and things in cupboards that she hides from the world that nobody knows about, including him. I am loving that the trad versions now have artwork in, so this is the stunning artwork in Insatiable. When I reread Voracious, and we know it's going to be another 5-star read for me and probably featured in a video, I will show you the artwork of the second book at that point. But yeah, easy 5-star read. If you haven't read Lee Rivers yet, this is the best place to start with her, so I would recommend starting here. I don't even know if I want to admit to this 5-star read or not. And this is Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. Not the biggest fan, but the story is so good. She's in an accident with her boyfriend or fiance, he dies, she takes the blame, she doesn't know she's pregnant, she goes off to prison, and his parents get custody of her daughter when she's born. She's now out of prison, she's behaved, she's done her time, a little bit less, but because of good behaviour she's out, and she wants to know her daughter. So she goes back to the town, she tries to get close to her daughter, tries to see anything about her daughter, and she meets her ex-dead fiance's best friend, and there's romance between them. Yeah, I didn't expect to love this as much as I did. I went to see the movie, it was really good, and I just have to slightly ignore the fact that I have an issue with this. That's the bit I have to ignore, but the actual story was great, and it really upsets me this was a 5-star read. I've read some books this year that have been rubbish, and then this one was a 5-star read. But yeah, and the movie I actually thought was a really good adaptation of the book, so I would recommend watching it. Then we have Diabound by Sable Sorensen. Oh, I love this. I love it. It's just fantasy heaven and romance. So this girl, and I'm going to say it before I even start, I guessed all the plot twists. It didn't upset me. I knew where everything was going. I literally saw it coming as it came, and I'm still not mad at it. And I'm going to say the second book in the series is a 5-star read as well. Now I'm going to tell you about that because it's not out yet and I don't want to spoil it for you. This girl's sister is taken by nappers, and so she enlists in the army to get herself on the front line to try and save her sister. Problem is, big problem, it's the year they've got the dire trials, so they have to bond with dire wolves to enter the army. They can still do that, but obviously they've got to survive these dire trials. Unless you're bonding, really you're not going to survive, is the conclusion. And she bonds with a wolf, and her world implodes. The plot twists are great, the tension is great, the fantasy world building is great. I loved every single page of this book, and yes, I did do a reread before I dived into book 2, because I read this when it was indie published, so it was 3 or 4 years ago I read it. Then I obviously haven't read it, was sent the second book as an advanced copy, and thought, I need to do a little bit of a reread, and I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I did. But if you love anything fantasy, you will love this, and it doesn't matter that you get the plot twists. Like, I don't think that matters. I don't think it matters if you've read a lot of fantasy, you can see where this story's going, because I'm still obsessed with it, and I loved it. It's Dystopian, it's a book that broke the internet, and of course I gave this a 5-star read. Wow, this was so good. You've got military elements, you've got dystopian elements, you've got kind of like royalty powering over everybody, but women are quite scary in this world. They're quite badass, and I love that. Like, she holds her own. I don't want to say too much on this and spoil it because a lot of you won't have been able to get your hands on it, so it's more just an honorary mention until the official trad version comes out. I was very lucky to have this in indie and to read it, but I know Pan Macmillan are publishing it this year, and I just don't want to say too much and spoil anything. But yeah, if you like Dystopian, you are going to love this, and that's all I'm going to say. Then we have Dragon Curse by Lise Cover. I didn't think I was going to like this. I went in fully expecting to go, yeah, average fantasy, fine. No, I need book 2 like literally immediately. This was so good. It definitely is a fantasy with elements of romance rather than a romantasy. And I quite like the change up. I quite enjoyed the change up. It felt a little bit different for me. This follows a girl who believes she's dragon cursed. So in this world, you could be angry, you could be sad, you could be hungry, and all of a sudden you can just bubble up and turn into a dragon. And she believes that that is the case with her. Luckily not. Luckily not. Or maybe it is. We'll see. But she's put through all these trials and she's tested to her limits. The romantic interest hasn't developed much yet. It is YA, which is why I went into this thinking, I'm probably not going to gel with this that much. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Really found it easy to read and would definitely recommend it if you like anything with dragons. I really like that the fact that this kind of church oversees everything, rules everybody. It's very interesting the way it's written. But yeah, definitely would recommend reading this one if you like your dragons. So that's some of the 5-star reads I read this year. If you want to see a part 2 or you want to know some of the different stars I've rated things, do just let me know in the comments, and make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you're notified when I post every Sunday. And I'll see you book lovely soon. Bye guys!